Hey everybody, it's Mike
And Cheryl.
with Hendrick Studios.
And today we're with Divas Get Crafty for their April event.
So I'll be nice and not be weird.
He's not in the video much. It's okay. We are making this little polymer clay chicken.
Say that fast 3 times.
It doesn't have to be this color. You can make it any color you want. I have a couple others, but I just finished painting one. This one has not been painted, nor has it been cooked yet. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, so I'm going to put the camera up.
So let us move the camera around and get things ready for you.
Camera moving here. Oh, chicken rise.
Can't take you anywhere.
I know. Okay, there we go.
Okay. You go. You can tell me when that's in focus.
There we go. That looks good.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, we are Hendrick Studios.
You can contact me here, so please take a screenshot, and or you can email me at my email address, or you can find me on Shopify or here at Facebook. And that's who we are. We are Mike and Cheryl with Hendrick Studios.
All right.
And we would like to thank Christy for setting us up again today. She sets all these up for us, and she's done a wonderful job.
Thanks,
and I just
Christy.
really want to appreciate all the effort she puts into this, because
It's a lot.
it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff in the background that nobody sees, and it's the coordination between all these ladies, or divas. They're not necessarily all ladies on this team. And if you're interested in showing people how you make your crafts, you're more than welcome to join Divas Get Crafty. So please go to the Divas Get Crafty page. You don't have to watch this just on my page. You can watch it in the group. We've had, I believe, 8 other ladies here today. I believe it was 8. And and there you can watch them on replay. They'll be here on the Divas Get Crafty page and on their own personal business page also, just like mine will be. Okay. Cool. So anyway, this is our little chicken, and yes, he's a polymer clay figure with actual feathers in it, and yes, those feathers can go in the oven at this temperature. Michael will check it to make sure none of my fingernail marks are in there, because I think I see fingernail marks, but he'll let me know before he cooks it, because once it's cooked, they're in there. I will re-glue the feathers in after it cooks.
Yeah.
So, let me show you what we were using here today. We are going to be using a couple of tools. You can use anything for a clay tool. You don't have to use special clay tools unless you're talking about blades. I do recommend the blades that they use, such as this curvy little blade here. This is for the handle that I don't have it in. Rosie went running. You might want to see what's going on in the back.
Okay.
We have 5 dogs and 4 birds, so if you hear entertainment in the background, that's not me. Yeah. We have an Indian ringneck parrot, and that's the screaming one. She's not talking right now. We have a turtle dove and 2 pigeons. That's it for birds, right? 4 birds. 4 birds. We're down to 4. We used to have a lot more. And then we have 5 dogs, and one just went running out the window that I saw, so she's up to something. So we'll have to figure out that in a minute.
I'll go.
This is one I did previously. I meant to show you this earlier. I just finished painting the brown on it. You can paint polymer clay. It's very easy to do. It takes paint really well. This is a wash of brown because I want to use these brown feathers on it. And you can see the little holes I got in her tail here, so I know where to glue my feathers in at when I'm ready to glue it in. I usually paint them after I do the cook. Unless, you know, there's something special going on. Now, if I'm going to use, now you can tint colors of this. This one goes in the center. Okay, I'll have to work on that in the center. But anyway, that's what that one looks like, and I didn't like the white body, just the white body. So I wanted to add a little bit of brown to her feathers. So, we are going to be using this little teardrop cookie cutter. If you don't have a teardrop cookie cutter, an X-Acto knife will work. This is a little clayified. Anything you use with clay, polymer clay, not ceramic clay, but polymer clay, it doesn't like wood. It sticks to wood. It doesn't let go. It's not friendly to wood. It will stain things different colors. I have wood pottery tools because I throw pottery and make ceramics, so I just like these tools, so I tend to use them. But the ones I use in polymer clay, I won't take back to the ceramic world because of the oils and stuff in here. That's okay, because that's not where I'm at. I am using round cookie cutters. If you don't have one, the cap of a jar will work. Anything that's round shaped that you can draw a line around, even a piece of paper that you cut a half circle on and trace around will work. And a knife. Now I do have 3 sculpting tools from Sculpey. This is a little set that I know is really inexpensive. They're just plastic. You do want all your polymer clay tools to be plastic, or you know, something like this. This, I don't know, movable plastic wedgie stuff. I guess it's plastic. Silicone. These have to be under $5 for sure. Well, that was before COVID. I don't know. I have like 5 sets of them, so they come in kits. I know that to be sure, because otherwise I would not have 5 sets of these. This is part of the cookie cutter set. This is the cookie cutter set here. It has 12 tiny aspic or jelly cutters. They're used in cake decorating. Oh, look, I have my own. Since Michael works in metal, if I need a certain shape, then he will get it for me. They do have an up and down. The little ridge is the up part, so this is technically easier to push through your clay or fondant or whatever you're doing. And I just have these out here because I was using this heart one, and I was using this one depending on what I was doing. And these are about $15 to $20 at Michael's. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like 12.
And this set of these round ones was like $4 at Hobby Lobby.
And it's worth it.
It's well worth it because they're a good size. Foil for the centers. You don't have to put, or this is considered an armature. An armature is also a piece of wire, a toothpick, a stick, anything that goes inside the clay to give support to the figure. And this also saves on clay. Polymer clay doesn't like to be more than, it can crack at more than a ½ inch thick. It can be done. You can certainly do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to sit in the oven for those many hours because I'm lazier than that. So I tend to fill them with, if you've got a round body like this little, the base of this little chicken here is one of these. And Michael rolls the ball for me because I have carpal tunnel, and then to get it really smooth like this, we roll it around on the table. And then I cover it with clay. If it's still really bumpy, I'll cover it with masking tape first, and then I'll cover it with clay. I have Sculpey oven bake adhesive. Do buy this. Do not use Elmer's glue. This is a polymer plastic substance that sticks itself together. Elmer's glue ain't going to do that, and crazy glue fumes in your oven, and you don't want that. So, now after it's done, if you drop it and you snap a part off, you can glue it back on with crazy glue. That's fine, but not when cooking. Okay, so buy this. It's about $3 to $5, somewhere in that range. I have a plastic rolling pin because, you know, it's plastic. As you can see, little pieces of clay stick to everything. I have my silicone mat. This is another one here. I don't know if you see that. It's just a plastic silicone mat. Just to keep my clay off the table. I have some wire to use as armature. I have a toothbrush for texture. I have this other little wooden one. This is one of my favorite tools. I love this little spoony scoop tool, so I use it a lot for adding design to figures. And this works really good for snakes. I know, but don't worry about it. I'll show you that in a later video. Anyways, toothpicks, pair of scissors maybe. I might use ball dotting tools. These are technically paint tools for dotting, for like mandala painting and little dot paintings, you know. But they work really well for clay, to bend the clay and shape clay. Like if you put a flower petal over on this, you just make a teardrop shaped flat piece of clay that you rolled. Oh, and a pasta machine. I have a pasta machine. You can get electric ones, but I don't want to invest that much money in a pasta machine for clay. They're somewhere around $100, so I have a regular hand rolling pasta machine, and any brand is fine. They do make special polymer clay ovens you can buy, and they only go up to like 300 degrees depending on which brand of clay you're using. Today we are using clay that bakes at 250 degrees, which is the Craftmart brand, which is the Michael's store brand, and the Sculpey brand. Sculpey.
What temperature did you say?
250?
275.
I'm sorry, 275. Our oven's a little weird because we had to buy a oven temperature gauge because we were burning our clay. Very sad when you burn your clay, so don't do that. So buy the 495 temperature gauge, and then I also will use little black glass beads for eyeballs. And then I have feathers in various colors. I have disinfecting wipes because they have alcohol in them, and they will clean my fingers, they'll clean the table. The darker colors will transfer colors from the clay to wherever. Like on this one, there's orange, because I've used it already. Stuck it back in there to keep it warm. I mean, dry. I mean, wet. It dries out here. As you can see, I have brown on me. I've been playing with black and brown. Oh, Mike's going to show a well-used oven timer, so you know what I'm talking about. You can get them
It's
at
an oven
Walmart.
thermometer.
Walmart, about $5.
Yeah.
Well worth saving your clay. Follow the directions of your temperatures on your clay. Fimo and, what's the other one? Cernet?
Cernet and Kato clay.
Kato. They cook at 275 degrees.
No, they cook it different. I think they cook it.
They cook at 300, and the other one
300.
cooks at 275.
Yeah.
You can cook them at lower temperatures for longer. That's not a problem, but you don't want to burn your clay because once you do, it does turn various colors of black, brown. It's very sad. Okay, anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do is get me a tinfoil ball. Like I said, I have them rigged up. I try to find a flat spot on it. You could do that too, that doesn't hurt. So that it has somewhere to sit for sure. And I will, since it's kind of it's not a really round one anymore, especially since I smacked it. It is, this will probably be, this part here will be the front. It has a couple big divots in here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill those in. You can use any color clay. We're going to use black because that's what I have. And then that way, that dent is filled in before I even get there. And is there anybody else that looks like it needs help? No, that's pretty much okay, because that was, this is pretty gaping. You need to condition your clay before you use it. Conditioning means make it soft by working it. And I work it in the pasta machine because I have carpal tunnel. Actually, I have Michael work in the pasta machine if he's around. Otherwise, I put it in the pasta machine. Maybe someday I'll buy an electric pasta machine where I just have to push the button. But I would still have to clean it, so probably not. I know how I am. Alright, so Michael has rolled me out some clay. This is Sculpey Black. Very exciting because we're making his little black body first. Okay? And let me take the feathers out of this so you can see the shape that I'm actually going to make, because it is not just a circle. And I can cook this with the feathers in, or I could cook it with the feathers out. The feathers do not burn in the oven at these temperatures. If you go higher, they will burn. So don't do that. I try to keep clay, oh no, off of my feathers off of my clay because they shed. And yeah, we live in the desert. We live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and today it is in the 70s. It's very, very dusty, windy here today. We've had dust and rain. We had rain yesterday. We have dust today. So you can see it's, oops. Oh, see, there's a feather sticking out of it already. It's kind of, that's its little tail. The tail was more of a point before I stabbed so many times with the feathers. And then I texture it with the different tools that I have. So we're doing the round part here at the bottom right now, and then we're going to add this tail part on. So I filled in those divots. I'm going to use clay. This is a setting 4 on my pasta machine. I don't see much difference pretty much between 4 and 3. I do between 2 and 1. It's a very thin difference. And between 6 and 7 on this particular pasta machine, it does not. You can cook these in your regular oven. That would be perfectly okay. Regular oven is just fine. And, but whatever you use with polymer clay cannot be used with food again. So if you use a certain baking pan for it, and then they do recommend glass when you bake these. Put it on glass. See, look for air bubbles. Now that I've covered it up, I can see one moving around. I'm going to roll it first. And that'll show me exactly where it's at. I'm just putting it in between my hands. Keeping my fingers out of the way. As you can see, my fingers are turning gray. before I touch another color, like white. Don't touch white. I have to wash my hands. If you want to wash your hands first with soap and water, that is perfectly acceptable, but it generally does not get the clay off your hands. Okay, so now I have a ball, and I know there's air bubbles in it. I can feel them. I can see how it's squishing right there. Get rid of an air bubble. This is called a needle tool. And this is technically a ceramics tool. It's not a polymer clay tool. You can get little needle tools. You're just going to stab it, and you're just going to hit that foil ball, and I'm just going to squish the clay out and push it back together. As you can see, this bubble is just moving around. I can push it, and it's going to roll, so at least it's gathered itself together. That's why I went ahead and rolled it in my hands. So I'm going to stab it a few times because it's such a big bubble. And then see how now it's going down, and I can feel a few. Where is it? Can't find it, roll it and do it again. And I'll also show you how well you covered it up. Okay, I don't feel it. I'm pushing as I'm spinning it around, and now I'm rotating it so I don't get like it turning square, because, you know, I like it to be roundy-ish. Okay, I don't feel the air bubbles, so I was wrong. So there is no more air bubbles in here, and that's cool. If there was, it would really... There's something in the clay that could be an air bubble right there. Usually if you get a little bump, there's something there. But it's been a very bright, pleasant day here. Today was, we were out of the house for a little while. We were out playing Pokemon, because we play Pokemon, and it's Community Day. Community Day is when they have one day a month where they put a special Pokemon out, and then they give out a variant of that Pokemon randomly, and you just gotta go find it. Okay, so I got my ball covered, and now I'm gonna make the tail. I'm just grabbing some more clay. I'm just gonna make it into a ball. Make it into a ball. Okay, I made it into a ball, a really bad ball, so I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so it's kind of an ovally ball. That's okay, because it doesn't have to be roundy round. And then I'm going to literally push it down like this. So I'm trying to make the space up underneath the edge of the ball. And that's going to be my base, because that looks good. It sets well. And then I'm going to take this tail part that I just made, and I'm going to put it on what I think is the back. Hold on, I'm looking at it. Okay, that's the front. Okay, so I'm just taking it, and I'm adding some adhesive because it's a big chunk of clay. In moisture climates, places that have humidity, you know, your clay will stay oilier for longer. It's not that it runs out per se. I mean, it doesn't go anywhere. It kind of absorbs it. It collects in the center, for lack of a better word. A little bit of this glue goes a long way. Okay, so this is the front. So this is the back. I got my glue on there, and I'm just going to push it down in. I know it looks like it has a big fat tail, but it does. It's okay though. So now I'm just going to smooth the edges in on the side, so that the two pieces become one, and I know they'll stick together because there's glue under there and it's trying to escape. You gotta watch out. That's why I tried to take some of the glue off. A little of this glue goes a long way. Long way. And you can do this with tools. You don't have to do this with your hands. I just have better control of my clay with tools. Now I do have fingernails. I don't recommend fingernails longer than the tips of your fingers, like this little guy over here. You can see he's collecting clay. But I use my fingernails in glasswork, so I tend to keep my fingernails on long, unless I'm doing a lot of clay work. Kind of depends on the situation. I do kiln work glass. I used to do lamp work glass. That's glass work done with a torch, not boro glass, silicate glass, but soft glass. I make beads, little like when you see the little person making animals in the store or at a convention somewhere. All right, so kind of looks like a funny little skull or a little face, but it's not. And then I'm going to slightly bend the back up. I'm not concerned about the texture. I don't care about the texture unless there's a big crack in it. And I do want to make sure it holds all the way. I'm going to tuck it in a little bit because this ball's a little taller than I thought it was, and I squished it out a little bit. And then because I'm covering the tail with feathers, actual feathers, I'm just pushing it together so I'll have a better base to work with. If you want this really smooth, you can make it really smooth. That's fine. But I am going to be texturing it next, so I'm not concerned about every little problem that you see now. As long as I have a smooth texture, the texture will be good. Or smooth base, the texture will be good. Sorry. And it doesn't have to be, you know, not perfect. Okay, so got that. So now I have Michael rolled me out all the clay earlier, so yay for thank you, Michael. I do appreciate it. Next, we're going to do, it doesn't want to come off that. We're going to do this little white part here. And that's done. We're cutting out 4 little hearts with this little cookie cutter, cake cutter. This teeny little cutter. I'm not sure I'm in the frame. Michael is washing dishes. I'm not sure why he has the sink going right now. I'll ask him later. He'll be cool. He's not feeling real good, but that's okay. He's active, and that's good enough. We did play Pokemon, and he's kind of tired. Mike, can you turn that water off, hon? Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry. You'll have to do that later.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry. I just want y'all to be able to hear. So I'm going to make 4 of those, and I'm pushing it out with whatever fits in. You can use the back of a pen. You can use a pen, like an ink pen, to push it out, whatever you've got that's solid. I like this. Don't push it too hard, because you will get that indentation that you're seeing right there. Can be helped. But what can be helped is the direction. Sometimes I'll stay on it if it's fresh clay, fresh from the package. It's just been... And you can store this in baggies forever. It immediately goes back in the bag when I'm done working with the hair because I have dogs and I have dust. And I have hair. Vegas has so much wind. There's always wind here. So there's always dust. There's always a layer of dust. You just can't escape it. You dust, and literally 5 minutes later, there's more dust. It's very frustrating. I don't like dust. I also don't like to dust. So, okay, so I got my 4, and they all got that little dent in the, whoops, where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so I can move this out of the way. I try to keep my white out of the way because white picks up everything. Colors, dirt, whatever's laying around, white finds it. Like this little orange, oh, you won't see it. I got a little fleck of orange on the tab, on the pad. It's all orange. Okay, so this is the front, that's the tail. So I'm going to put, basically I'm making a square, but I want the 2 little heart pieces. It's going to go like this, but it's going to go upside down because I don't want to see those dents. So the dents go down. Oops. If you see you have a hair floating around, I have dogs, like I said, so get the hair off because it does not leave. Never, ever leaves. It just makes your work a nightmare. Alright, so that's all I'm doing to stick that down. And I'm leaving a little bit of space in between, which, when I smush this down, it'll look better. Actually, I think that was too far over. So we'll just this one also new reasons so you don't push down so hard at first. You want to make sure everything fits together fine. And now that you've flipped those little centerpieces, the little poke holes that were in there out, you can't tell they were there. Yay! I think I just pushed. Now I'm pushing everything down to make it adhere, otherwise I'd have to use the glue. Like I say, it's really warm here today, and this is very fresh, soft clay. And I gotta get a hair out. Yeah, they're that small. Oh, and I added a black piece of clay. Lovely. Okay. I'll show you how to clean that up shortly. Okay. Have a garbage can handy because a lot of stuff lands in it. Alright, so as you can see, it doesn't look like that's what that shape is, but it is. There's 8 of those loopy things. Alright, so what I want to do now is I am looking for the knife blade. This little plastic knife blade. I don't want the X-Acto blade because the X-Acto blade is too sharp. I just want to add some texture and literally just stab it down. This is not the same tool I used on the last one. I can tell because the line is different. So I know which one I did use, but I don't need them to be the same. I'm just making it look like feathers. Now if you go too dark or too deep, you will see the black clay underneath it. Just do it again and you'll be fine. No talking. Hush, little doggy. We have a couple chihuahuas and the neighbors are having, they have a bouncy house for children, you know, down on the corner. And there's a lot of activity right now, which, you know, it's a nice day out here. So people are taking advantage of the nice day. But apparently they had this planned because it's an event, which is fine. Birthday parties are good things. Which is interesting because it's actually being held at Grandma and Grandpa's house, not at a house with children, which is probably why there's a bouncy house. But they're all having a good time. And that's all that matters. I don't mind that I'm crossing over the lines here with my decoration. It's okay, because most of it's going to get covered up by this center part right here. Oops, I forgot. If you let them sit, they will harden. If your clay gets too soft to work with, put it in the refrigerator for 10 minutes. It'll be better. If it is too hard to work with, which is one of the reasons I don't work with Fimo. There's nothing wrong with Fimo. I just find it really hard to work with because of my hands. There's clay softeners that each brand of clay makes. I don't recommend mixing temperature brands of fixatives or adhesives. So if you're using Fimo, stick with Fimo or Kato clay, whatever runs at that temperature. You don't have to have Sculpey, but stay with whatever brand and temperature that you're working with. They just work better together. You can mix them, but you can't mix temperatures. That doesn't work. Okay, so I'm making the neck, which is basically, I'm just collecting clay off and just breaking it up as I go and adding it onto his guy. I want his neck to be a little thick, but not too thick. It's a chicken, not a rooster, so it's a girl. Yeah. I don't know a lot about chickens. I'm a city girl. I live in Las Vegas. I was born and raised here. I like farms. I like cows. I like chickens. I like horses. I just have no experience with them. Don't start Green Acres socks on me. I don't like their necks to be just straight, so I try to give them a little bit of texture. And you see, I'm kind of pushing it together. Again, I'm not concerned if it's not 100% super smooth because I will be texturing it just like I did the neck on that one. Or something similar. They're never the same. They never come out the same. I guarantee you they are never the same. Even when I have molds, they're never the same. Which, that's just the artist in me. So. Okay, so it kind of looks like a teeny tiny gnome hat. I told you guys I wasn't making gnomes today. And I wasn't doing glass today. Not doing wood today or lasering today. Yeah, we do all those things. And we make jewelry. Michael is a certified jeweler. He's been to jewelry school where he's worked for major companies here in Vegas. Okay, now we're just going to add some adhesive because we are. That's more than enough. And it's going to go in the center. So center it on there. Yep, I'm happy. And then push it down. So you're actually squishing it on there. As you can see, it's not too confusing. Yeah, that's Indian ringlet parrot talking now. She likes to go to bed right around 5 o'clock. Well, here it's like 7:15, 7:30, Mike? What time is it?
6:30.
6:30. I'm sorry, 6:30. So she's an hour behind. She's not mad yet. Just wait. She will be yelling soon. We'll put her to bed before she starts seriously yelling. She's an unhappy bird. She lost her mate before I got her. I've had her for 12 years, so I got her another mate. She liked him, sort of. He loved her. But he was the first bird of his kind. She was the first bird of his kind she'd ever seen, so he would have fallen in love with any bird. Max was a sweet, sweet creature, though. We love Max very much. Okay, so there's my neck. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my eyeballs on, and then I'm going to texture in my face, and then I'll texture at the end because I just work better that way. Now I have to, because I've been working with black, and I'm playing with black. When I go to the black will transfer. There's black on my hands right now. It will transfer to the white. I can't have white dirty eyeballs. So get yourself a new one of these and wipe your hands off. Wipe under your fingernails, if you have fingernails, like I do, because the black that's under there, it transfers. It all transfers. I'm going to wash my hands, so maybe Mikey can chat with you for a few minutes while I switch colors here.
Oh, okay. You want me to talk?
Talk for a few seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay, well, you know. She said talk. Oh, let's see. What is going on here? Well, I don't know if you've been following Cheryl on her glass work, but the piece that she's been working on, that she was doing the bubble squeeze, the bubbles didn't squeeze the right way. And we already think we know what's wrong with it, so we're going to try another one. But as soon as I can, I will go get it and bring it, show it. Because it's cool looking by itself, but it's not what she was going for.
It was one of those kiln surprises.
Yeah, kiln surprise.
It happens a lot in kiln.
There you go.
Unfortunately, it's expensive.
Yeah.
To learn these things. And you never know how it's going to come out. Kilns, sometimes they come out perfect. You can run the same exact program on what you think is the same exact glass that you cut from the same sheet, run it the same way, and lo and behold, you'll get it something different. You didn't change anything. What? Except it's just another round. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
All right.
That's how glass is.
I'm going to
All right, so I have pretty clean fingers now.
What are you doggies doing?
White. I worked in this earlier today, so it's fairly clean. Move your stuff out of the way. Oh, don't forget when you're cleaning to clean your tools, because they transfer color, and clean your surfaces. The color just transfers everywhere, so don't do that, because you'll have dirty clay and then you'll be really unhappy with yourself. If you do have dirty clay, we can fix it before you cook it. After you cook it, you can paint it, yeah. But once you've cooked it, it generally doesn't come off. You can try to get it off with some rubbing alcohol. It generally doesn't work. Oh, Michael's going to show you what I was working on yesterday's video. We try to do a video demo a day. Well, not necessarily a demo, but a, hey, how you doing? This is what we're up to.
Okay, we'll talk about this.
A day.
Yep.
So go ahead and talk about that one.
Oh, well, all right. So you can see there's bubbles in it, like right there. And that's what we were going for. But you can see a lot of them, the bubble did not stay on the edges or in the middle. It squoze to basically the blue. It kind of
flattened out.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And it should have stayed in the center.
Yeah, the bubbles should all be in the center, not all on the edges.
And this was a quick auto run on the kiln because I haven't done this project before. So the best place to start is in auto mode because you know exactly. Why is my computer talking? You know exactly what you're told it to do.
Yeah.
And so I'll go back in and we'll still probably finish this.
Oh, totally. We'll
to
finish
completion. It just did not. The bubbles were supposed to be rounded in the center instead.
You got
they're on the edges.
The glass came up and touched the other glass before.
It did weird stuff. So
it's weird. It's cool, but it's not.
It's not what I had in mind.
It's cute.
It's cute.
It's wrong.
No, wrong is not the word. It's just not what I had planned for. And sometimes kiln surprises are exactly that. Okay, so I'm making 2 different size eyeballs because I did this on purpose because I think it's funnier looking that way. I think art should make you happy. Whatever kind of art you do should make you happy. If it doesn't, I would consider changing, but you know, that's up to you. Life is too short to be doing stuff you don't necessarily want to do. When you got a ball and you're happy with it, put it down. Now I'm comparing sizes of eyeballs. That works for me. They don't have to be giganta huge. And then I will make, so the eyeballs are what I'm working on now. Once I stick them on the head, then I'll put the little round dimensional, that's a piece of clay, not a bead, piece of clay on there. It'd be super, super shiny if it were gloss bead. Now you can use, you know those little teeny tiny, I'll call them decorative beads that they put in like, they use them in resin and acrylic stuff. They are little teeny tiny minuscule, like 1 millimeter or less size, little glass beads. And you can buy them in your craft store. I don't have any, but I'm going to get some. And you could use those instead. I can also make my own glass round in the kiln. That works easily enough, but I won't be able to make consistent sizes, so I want them. I can make 2 that match. Out of probably 10, because they just do what they want in the kiln. Okay, so I got my eyeballs. So I got 2 eyeballs, and there's a piece of hair. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, that's gone. Even though it would be covered up, it bugs me if it's there. So that's just how I am. So I'm going to put the big eye on, instead of the big eye on this side, it's going to be on this side. No good reason. I just like it. Sometimes just to be weird. I put them both on the same time, so when I squish them together, they squish and touch. And then I remake them around again, because when you squish them and the soft clay like this, trying to keep the fingers that I'm putting on this neck to rotate it slightly, because I'm not going to get it right at me. There. Okay, so it looks like this. And the easiest way to make this generally the same size, whatever piece of clay you're doing, is roll a snake or a little line. Simple. Try to make it consistently even all the way along. Get yourself an X-Acto blade. Cut even sections. Should I have 2? Those are too big, but if I roll them, one eyeball would be probably fine for the big eye, but for the other one, there's one. And I'm just rolling them in my fingers, so there's nothing magical happening here. It's just very small. And there you have 2 little eyeballs approximately the same size. I don't want them the same size. At least at this point. Sometimes it changes as I guess. And you can add glass beads. You can add different colors. This is a black and white chicken, so he's black and white. See, I kind of like that better. 1 big pupil and 1 little pupil. Alright, I want to find my handy dandy pin tool. Needle tool, excuse me. That's this. You can also use a safety pin. Or a map pin, one of those ones with a big bomb on the top of it, you know. I saw somebody use those as antennas the other day. I just wondered why I hadn't come up with it. But anyway. Yeah. Get whatever tool you want. You can use a toothpick. Or anything that's got a nice, sharp-ish point. Not so you stab yourself, you know. Are you feeding popcorn to the dog?
Wow.
Thank you. Let's hope he wasn't exaggerating. Michael, were you slightly exaggerating? Mike, I see a dog chewing popcorn.
I'm not feeding the dogs popcorn. I'm feeding myself popcorn.
Yeah, okay, so it fell off, huh? Now, I'm not positioning the eyeballs at the same height. I made them at 2 different heights. Oops, 2 different heights. To attach those, I'm going to use this needle tool again. I'm going to pick it up. Yeah, I literally just stabbed it. And that's probably too much glue. And I want that little pupil on the big eyeball. Ta-da. And I want the big pupil on the little eyeball. Sometimes I go for goofy. Usually my polymer clay, I do polymer clay and I have fun with it because it's my non-serious art form. It's technical, but it's not technical like I have to know what temperature it's dropping at before I lose my air bubble. And I can't see in the kiln to see what happens. So this is my low stress hobby. Okay, next we're going to make his bead, or his beak. This is just orange. You don't need a lot. I'm moving these little black ones out of the way because I don't want them here anymore. Try to keep your clay colors together, otherwise it turns into scrap clay. Scrap clay is great if you want to make this solid on the inside and cook it for 2 hours. That's great. Not an issue with that. Okay, so I've kind of made it into a ball. And now I'm kind of making it into a cone. Okay, so it's a cone. Then we'll take that cone, and because it needs to go right there, I'm going to squish down on it this way, and then move my fingers 90 degrees and squish on it this way, so it kind of makes a little diamond-shaped point, but still tries to keep its 3D-ishness. So go ahead and... Mikey, can you handle the dogs? We have a really long back gate, and it's an 8-foot brick wall, but it's got a double driveway gate in it.
And it faces the street.
And it faces the street, and someone is yelling about it. Okay, so I want to make sure I glued this, because see how it wants to stick, but I don't trust it. And there's nothing worse than having your polymer clay figure come apart because you didn't glue it. Because it's always going to happen at the worst time. Okay, I gotta watch my fingers because I'm really good at putting nail prints and things. Okay, so now I want to make his little beak. So now I want to not break his beak in half, but I want to give him a top beak part and a bottom beak part. That's what I call them, beak parts. Now this, I don't really want to use that because it's so sharp. It's a very, very fine cut. It would certainly give me a nice cut, but it's such a fine line I won't be able to see it. Now when you do the other side, look at it from the front so you make sure the little beak lines actually line up together because otherwise they won't. Okay, went a little low, I got into his eyeball, so I'm just going to push that back up in there with my tool. Where'd my spoon tool go? Spoon tool, spoon tool, spoon tool. Ah, this works. Not that one though. This works. I like this because it's got a nice little point to it, and I can, if it's clean, yes it is, it's working right. It'll go in and pick those little edges up for me a little bit. It's not so harsh. Oh no, I reshaped his eye. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. You don't want your eyes to be little points like that one just was. I noticed it in profile as I rotated around. You want it to have a little roundy point. Pointy eyes are not cute. Roundy eyes are cute. Okay, so now we're going to make this little red thing here at the top. Need some red clay. I'm working on tier tray items, and that's what I'm making these little chickens for. And because a lot of people have farmhouse tier trays, and I think these little figures would be really cute on them. And a lot of people just... Working sculptural 3D is sometimes really hard for people, so a lot of times they want to know how to do it, and then they don't want to actually do it. They just like having the knowledge. Now you see my fingers are now turning red. I'm in trouble if I touch the white right now. So, I'm not going to touch the white right now. I want these to be different sizes. I don't mind that that one's short on the end and this one's taller and that one's taller. So let's see if that worked. I need 3 for the top and 2 for the bottom. Red clay is the worst when it comes to transferring color. The worst. Now you can use, there's nothing wrong with using latex gloves with this. Nothing wrong with that. I find they don't fit me very well, so I'm just stacking them on top of one another or side by side with one another. Now I'm making this into a ball, and then I will turn it into a snake from one side. So I'm only pushing down on one side so it looks like that. And that is more than long enough, and I'm going to lay that up together, and I'm just going to smush them all together nicely so you don't lose their definition. Okay, so they look kind of like a little red grass, but they're not grass. And I'm going to squish a little bit of glue up the tube. That's enough. Oh, Goku's mad. That's who you hear snarfing. He is a defensive little dog. All of our dogs are rescues or rehomed. As everybody needs a home. And some puppies just needed a second chance. Didn't always work out right the first time. Okay, so there's that part in the middle. Looks like that. Oop, that. Oh, sorry, I keep going sideways. Just like that. Time I'm looking at, Mikey. Time.
It's almost 10 to 7.
Oh, so 1 hour and a half is right on schedule. Huh.
I guess so.
I thought this would take me closer to an hour. So I have 10 minutes till 7?
10 minutes till 7, so you've been doing this for 50 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I got 2 pieces. They're kind of fatter and shorter. A little thicker because, you know, there's that little thing underneath. This could be a rooster. I don't know. I don't want that little point up there right now because it's just going to get way smush weird. So I'm just going to cut it off literally. And roll this towards his friend. And this is just going to get some dot of the adhesive. And oh, see, I had to look on that. Stuck on underneath. Whoops, not like that. Oh, I poked a hole in it. Hold on. Because of my nails, I've added that line that I really don't want. So, it's going to go away from it. Tabard, it's okay. Don't have to bark. It's okay, hon. That's Goku.
Yes, I do, Mama.
No, you don't. Alright, if they did too much square together, like this is starting to pull apart and start again. So I still have the 2 pieces. I separated them where they were together. Roll it out again. Roll it out again. Stick them together. Pick the pointy end off. Get it out of the way. Take it and get some adhesive. Oh, that's enough, that's enough. It's very sticky glue. And ta-da. Okay. Da-da, da-da, da, da. Oh, sorry. Da, 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 da. Okay. Mikey, can you handle that? Mikey, you need to handle the dogs.
Lock him in or lock him out?
In. It's fine. He can't see stuff that way. I'm going to add... His face is done, so I'm happy with that. I am going to add... I put his feet on early last time. Earlier in the face than I'm doing it now. And I think it's okay to put them on now. So I'm going to get the red off of my fingers because there's red on my fingers. And I'm headed towards white anyway. But I will have to wash them again or rinse them or wipe them off. And yes, even if you wear the Teflon gloves, this gets on the Teflon glove, Teflon, sorry, latex glove. You'll see whatever color, clay color. If it's especially greens, browns, reds, it's just what they do. They transfer. The whites and the light tones, not so much until you play in the red category, though, and you're in trouble. Almost every red transfers differently. I see your hair.
You're gonna have a bad day.
Yeah, it will give you a bad day. Okay, what you see me doing there, I'm attempting to remove your hair. And you will do it with these little tissues. Okay, so now I'm going to use his little orange color for his feet. So I got me some more orange clay, same as the beak color. And need a little more. Need a little more. Da-da-da-da-da. See how immediately it gets under your fingernails? This is why you need to make sure you wipe up well when you do this. Okay, so I'm just, again, I just kind of rolled it out to give me an approximate evenness to cut it in half. Rolling them both back into balls. Kind of an ovally ball. Yeah, like that. And I'm just, moving my hands back and forth together. That didn't work quite right. Oh, anyway. If you want to oval, you just kind of roll your hands back and forth together. Not seriously concerned about the shape. Kind of return it, shaping it into a kind of a weird teardrop. Smush it down a little bit. Do a cut line, kind of straight in, but at a slight angle. 30 degrees maybe? Maybe 20, somewhere in that range. You're making chicken toast. So you gotta have chicken room toes. So you don't want it too much of a point, or the toe in the middle gets too long. And you don't want humongous chicken toes. Okay, so I've got those. So now I'm gonna take and this is why I cut it with the X-Acto knife. And I'm just kind of pushing my little toes out so that I can make them roundy. Because right now they look like I just cut them, because, well, you saw me, I just cut them. And you don't want it to look that way. You want it to look professional. Or at least cute, if not professional. Sometimes professional is cute, sometimes it's not cute. It just depends on what it is. You know, scary monsters aren't cute, but they're still done very well. One of my clay artists I follow on YouTube is Ace of Clay. Does some really cool, he does a lot of anime figures, and he likes monsters and horror theme type things. He does Freddy Krueger. If there's a monster in a movie, he's made a clay figure out of it. He doesn't sell them, so it's okay. You can make them for yourself, but you can't make profit off other people's copyrighted stuff, so don't do that. Okay, so squish it down a little. So there's my little chicken feet. Looks like this one's a little bigger. Okay, see that fingernail keeps scraping there, so that finger needs to get out of the way. Alright, so there's my little chicken feet. This one's too fat. So I'm literally cutting it out. Come on. And then I'll reshape that again. Actually, I'll do the whole thing over again. Sometimes it's easier to start fresh from that cut, because when you open them up this little part too far, the clay caves on you. So just, keep trying. Doesn't work the first time. Do it again. It's just clay. It'll wait for you. It'll get hairy as it waits, or dusty if you don't cover it up, but it will wait for you. And we all know I have a gnome problem. So yeah, I've been making gnomes. I thought you all were tired of gnomes and needed to see something not gnomey. But I have some new polymer clay gnomes coming up that I hope that people will like. I think so. I think they'll be very popular. That chicken toe is really big, but that's okay. You won't look nearly as big when I put the little feeties on. Okay, so I've got little feeties. Okay, he needs to come off. You don't look like that, more or less. But I want to be able to pick them up and move them around, so I need my little. This is a piece of acrylic or plexiglass.
Just scrappy
Plexiglass. We came from the picture frame industry and the photography industry, so we have a lot of that type of product.
Scrapple.
So we try to use what we have, because why pay for it twice?
Use what you have.
And I'm literally just pushing the whole thing down on his feet. So his feet are right there. Lean further back so we can push his head forward. If you have too big of a curve on this, when you cook it in your oven, when you heat up clay, it tends to sag a little bit. So if you have a really big bend in it, you want to support that with some kind of prop in the oven as that cooks. Okay, so we're looking really good. What time am I looking at, Mike? We're at around 7?
It is 7.
Okay, we're on texture, so we're doing great. Right. Oh, wings. Sorry, wings. Forgot wings. Don't forget the wings. I make the wings by using the... Oh, there's white clay in there. The teardrop cookie cutter that apparently I didn't clean. I made a mess up. What am I doing? This? Oh yeah. Alright. Not very happy with that. Anyway, back to wings. Sometimes your clay tools or tools like this, they do get dirty. You need to clean them.
You just need to make sure they're clean.
They're not hard to work with. As you can see, I'm working really hard to clean this. But it is, because this is got alcohol in it, or I don't know, antibacterial something in it. Disinfecting wipe.
It's got antibacterial something.
Hey, I don't make them, I just buy them. Buy them, you use them. Okay, I'm going to cut 4 of these out. I did do 1, and yes, those 2 are stacked on top of each other in the mold, or in the cookie cutter. I'm pushing them both out at the same time. So see, double thick. Which is fine, because I want the wing to be off of his body. Ouch, a little bit. Like I say, I have carpal tunnel, so, you know. It approaches every now and then. Now notice, this tool did not make a big pokey down like that. It's okay. Okay, so I'm going to flatten it out a little bit because it's double the thickness, so it can be a little more rounded. I'm just pushing it in and literally rounding it into a kind of a wingy shape. So there you go. There's the hole from earlier, but it's not going to show. And that's from popping it out of my clay tool. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. And I'm just forming a shape till I am happy with it. I'm lifting this white piece out because it's on top and then, well, you know. It's easier to remove it than spread it around. Okay. So I got my general wing shape. Reshape it because you smushed it. I have my general wing shape. Make sure they're generally the same size. Same fatness. Yeah, pretty good. Alright, so again, let's get some some adhesive. Plexiglass. Sorry. And these are just getting stuck on the side. So he has wings. He's not a wingless bird. She, it. This poultry.
It'd be a her. When they eat a rooster.
Maybe it's a rooster. It has a waddle. Do regular chickens have? I don't know.
Doesn't have the thing on its head.
Oh, I gotta talk to my niece who Anyways, she's in Oregon. And she works on a farm in Oregon. So I'm just doing the same kind of feather streaks going down. Oh, hold on, my computer just shut off. Wake up, computer. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Okay. I had to wake my computer up. It fell asleep. I'm trying to remove a white spot. I'm doing a poor job. Remove things that you don't want there that you see because they just get worse. These little white spots are just from minuscule things on the table that are there but are hard to see. And where's one of these again? I want the white off of this because I'm working in black, so I don't want to have any transfer of color here. As I do my... Was it this one? What was I using? We'll use this one. Doesn't matter which tool you use, as long as you're consistent with your tools. I can do different tools between the white and the black because, you know, one's body and one's accent color, so they don't have to be the same. So now I'm just kind of going in a feathery, linear shape towards the tail, working over things, and I'm going to push this wing in, both of them, so that there's no line. I'm finished with it, there won't be a line. Now working on this table, which is really good because, or on this, whoops, if it's stuck, I have to push it down a little harder, because it lets me not handle the clay until you move it too many times. Oh, now it's looking up at me. I'm going to have to swing his head around. There we go. It is flexible. Now, this does not have a wire in it. You can put a wire in it. There's nothing wrong with putting a wire in it. I simply didn't put a wire in it because the clay is thick enough, in my opinion, to hold it. If you feel uncomfortable with it, by all means, put a piece of wire in there. That's called an armature, and that's exactly what it's for. So over the wings, I'm just kind of drawing a... It's not going the straight pattern. The wing feathers are kind of angled at a slight angle upwards. It has to come off there because I need to come in so I can see to blend these edges here. So first I'm going to put the texture down on the body part because it's kind of, the feathers are going kind of back and down, depending on where you're looking at. And this is just gently done in the clay. This is one of those silicone tools. This is a number 2, and it's from American Art Clay Company Incorporated. I know they have these. I probably bought this at Michael's, most likely. I do tend to buy a lot of stuff on Amazon because they're cheaper than the local stores, but you do gotta watch your sizes and what it is exactly you're getting and what country you're buying from, just like you would on any other order that you place with Amazon. If it's coming from China, it's going to take a little while. Be prepared to wait. It's cool, but it's coming from China and it's going to take some time. They still have problems with shipping for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but it remains a problem. So
it's not the shipping, it's other parts of the chain.
Okay, it's not shipping, it's more logistics on the other part of the chain. Is that more appropriate?
That is correct.
Okay, it's between people who don't want to work.
Absolutely correct.
Ridiculous laws that require certain truckers to have certain things on their vehicle, which is fine, but it needs to be doable and accessible and affordable, or people can't make a living doing what they're doing. And since truckers are essential, you think we would be a little more concerned. Be nice to the truck drivers on the road. They're tired, they're working hard, they're dealing with
your stuff.
They're bringing in all your stuff, absolutely. It's not just that Amazon guy that comes in the Amazon truck.
Yeah,
Well,
That's just the
it's
one you
still
see
driving
all the
truck.
time. Yeah, he is still driving the truck. There's no question about that. So here I'm making the details on the front go down or up, depending on which direction you're going. I usually try to start from the bottom and go up so that the lines will overlap the other lines and have a smooth blend. I could have added this texture earlier on, but I would have had to redo it because of the handling of the piece. So I tend to leave texturing right to the end. Because you squish it and you gotta do it again. So I'm just going all the way around the chicken tail here. I'm not gonna go on the bottom because I don't care, because that's the bottom, it's not gonna show. Gotta do the wing. How to do the wing on that side? It's got a little angled upwards. Okay, so you just want to make sure it's going the same. You're doing the same thing with this wing so that the wings blend together and match. Now, like I say, this clay takes paint really well, so if you want to, add some highlight tone or make it be kind of a gray tone or add little white spots, do a wash of white white acrylic paint over the top of it, and then seal it with a polymer type based sealant such as polyacrylic. You can get that at Home Depot, Lowe's. I've even seen it at Walmart. And a can, you can get a spray can. I tend to buy the paint cans like a paint bucket, but smaller. And that just seems to work best for me. Okay, so there's his body done. Oops, I'm going to bend this toe back because his toes moved because I touched it too many times. Now I'm going to texture his neck. So you see I started at the top and came down. And then I'll make this match up here. I'm pushing pretty hard here on the edges because I want to line them. The new line that I'm making will blend them kind of into each other, into the seam at least. And these feathers always grow down on their neck because that's where the neck goes. So I hope you had a great time watching all the various crafters today on this channel. Please go visit their pages. There's so many talented people in this group. And they try to do this once a month. And if you are a crafter, please consider joining us. We'd love to have you. It is free. There is no cost at this time. There could be in the future because the group is growing. So and at some point, there's going to have to be. It's just how it is. You got to have dues to be in groups eventually. Especially if they're very active. So at some point, I'm sure there will be. And I'm more than happy to pay those dues. Because I like to talk to y'all. And I like to show you new stuff that I'm doing. And it's okay if this isn't for you. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Working with clay is not as easy as it looks. Okay, so you can see how, oops, the neck is pretty well textured. I squished some texture there, but I have to fix the feet first, so I'm not really concerned with the front body texture right now. So I'm coming back. Oops, I'm moving that off of there. That is perfect. Okay, good. Now when you scratch a clay like this, you do get little balls of clay that come off, little scratch mark pieces that come off, and that's what I'm dealing with now. It's part of the territory. It's okay. Let it go and work on it. Now I don't know if y'all have seen chicken toes. I see them in the meat markets, or the sections in stores. Chickens have little lines between what I would call their chicken joints. So, just the chicken feet can bend. Mine are bending really good. Anyway. Stuck together too much. I gotta use my blade. Oops. Falls over, pick it back up. We'll fix it. This is best thing about this clay is you just keep doing it till you get it right. Or it's too dirty and you got to start over again. Now, you can, if I screwed this up and made it, let's say I dropped this on the floor and got it really hairy right now because I have 5 dogs and there's hair on the carpet, I guarantee it. I mean, I see it, but I know it's there. It's going to come back with hair on it. I'll never be able to get all the hairs off of it. So at that point, in order to save this piece, I would use this as an internal part if I had to and recover the whole thing. Probably remove the head, but the body would stay. And then I'd put on a new head and try not to drop it on the floor next time. You see all these little pieces? This is what contaminates the clay. You don't see them. They're there. They build up after a while, and there's a lot of them. So, let me go back to my toes here. Finish what we're working on. Open toe, open, make a long and not a square toe. Okay. I just want them separated so they don't look like big clunky toes, because most toes aren't quite that fat. I guess maybe some are for eating purposes, but you know. And they're kind of pointy, but they're kind of roundy too, so yeah. Alright, so once I smush them down, they'll be good. So I'm going to take my needle tool or toothpick if you have a toothpick. Oops. Put it on this because I want to be able to move it. And I'm just drawing a little denting line, 2 of them on each toe. And I'm literally just putting indentations in. It also helps secure the base to the ground. This chicken is looking the wrong way. Hello. You're supposed to look at me, not up to the side.
You talking to that chicken?
I'm talking to the chicken because the chicken's being bad.
Okay. In about 10 minutes.
Usually I do with bad chickens. They get eaten.
Okay.
Yes, 10 minutes. 10-minute warning.
Wrap it up.
Bing, 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 bing. Okay, so I'm just fixing the dents that I squished out. Just adding a couple more. Like I say, this little piece of plastic really comes in handy to keep you from touching things. And it's just a piece of acrylic plexiglass. It's nothing exciting. Okay, so there's my little wings. Okay, so now we need some feathers. So this is the part where you don't want any clay on the table. If you don't want any clay on the table, it's going to get all hairified. Because feathers shed badly. They're not clay's friend. Move away. Move away. You over there. Okay, where'd the other one go? I didn't find my feathers. Okay, so we're going to add some feathers. Not using the feathers from the other one though, because those always have specific places in the. Well, they did have holes. He needs new holes. Grab yourself a package of feathers. Da, 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 da. Make sure you look like you move. These are feathers. I got these at either Walmart or Michael's. I try to buy them on sale because, you know, they're feathers. They're real feathers. Sometimes they need to be reshaped a little bit, and like this one, it won't reshape. This feather's twisted. Not good for this project. Still has uses, but not for this project. Oh, that looks like a nice big feather in the middle. Push that up. Try to fluff your feathers back into shape. I like that one, so good. It's a big tall feather, so I'm just put that in the front, and I'm literally stabbing it into the clay. Looks like that. Okay. And that's all I'm doing now with my feathers, just putting them in. Then I'm going to cook this at 275 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, the thicker it is, the longer you need to let it stay in there. This is the thickest part here on these is this neck, which is about a ½ inch, and the wings, which is about a ¼ inch. So it has to stay in there for a minimum of 30 minutes to get that ¼ inch taken care of. So we'll probably leave it in for 40 or so minutes. And this, like I say, this can cook in your regular oven. Anything you use in your regular oven is great, but do not use it for food again. Because once it's been clayified, and you don't want to use it.
The oven's fine, But any tools?
Yeah, any
pans,
tools, cooking pans,
cookie cutters.
cookie cutters, anything you use with clay should not be used with food. Yes, the clay is non-toxic,
But don't.
but the oil on this might not be.
Yeah.
And there's oil on this because yours are made out of some kind of metal.
Yeah, probably stainless
Probably
steel.
stainless steel or aluminum.
Maybe aluminum.
So just be aware of that. So don't do that. And I put in between 5 and 7 or so feathers, depending on how they lay up and how they go and what they look like. You got to kind of pick and choose. And you might need to go back to sewing into the feather box or bag if they don't have what you want. This one's been twisted and it's not unraveling, so you're going to go somewhere else. That one looks good. Go over here. I try to keep them kind of symmetrical, just so you know there's a more or less even amount of stuff going on. You don't want his tail to look sparse. And I'm literally just pushing these into the clay. That's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to add this one down here in the front, kind of front back front. Closest to his neck. There we go. I tend to invent my own words. It's alright. And then when I pull these out of the oven, I will place them, and I'll re-glue them in again. And so see, he's done. Oh, I was going to show you how to get this red part off of his eye. I can still do that. Remember those handy dandy wipes we've been using all night? Guess what? It's another one. Except this one you want to make sure it's got enough liquid on it that it moves. If it doesn't, you're going to have to add rubbing alcohol. Because I don't want that red on his eye. And yes, that is just from the clay, the red clay touching the eyeball. All I'm doing is very, very softly, gently wiping it off. And it will clean off. Oops. The feathers tend to make it go off balance when I'm tilting it. Because I don't know where it's at. So you can clean your eyes, the white of your eyes. You can clean your clay off somewhat with this. Now, how it's cleaning this clay, it's literally dissolving the top layer. It's alcohol and clay. You get enough alcohol, you're not going to have any clay. You'll have an interesting soupy mix.
Last call for alcohol.
Like I say, this will cook for 20 minutes. Like this one we did paint afterwards. Oops, where's this other feather? They're not glued in yet, so they're not staying. But it goes right. Well, it goes right there. And I wanted to bring in some of this because he was really bright like his eyeballs. So I just painted this with a wash of brown and just let it sit there and fall into the little cracks. And once he's got his feathers glued on, he's done. So, been working on chickens. These are my goofy chickens. I like them.
Is that a brand name or?
No, that's just Cheryl's name for her goofy chickens.
Chickens. I like it.
Remove whatever's not supposed to be there. Because once it's in there and you cook it, you're done. Now, if this were a little person, so say this was a gnome, because I make so many gnomes, and I needed to add some coloring to his, in this case, it would be a round ball. Can't touch it again because I'm on red now. Oh, so here's my gnome's nose. You can take dry pastel, eyeshadow, rouge, anything that's a dry powder, and take a paintbrush and brush it against your coloring. Mike, can you bring me something really fast?
Yeah.
Just any color. It doesn't matter what. Just so I can show them how to do this. I have paintbrushes. Got lots of paintbrushes. Now I'm not doing that with this because I will probably do a paint wash over the top. If I remember. There's my little... That is glued on. Anyway. Nothing on top? And you can, before you cook the clay, you can, all the dry powders, and you can use mica. If you have mica pigment powders, those are really pretty.
Stunning. There you go. Choice of 3.
I just need one.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
We're going to use this coppery one. This is eyeshadow. It's from Sally Beauty. I don't care where it's from. You can use pastels.
Go to the dollar store and get
Children's,
makeup.
yeah, this is usually where I get stuff like this. Like here, I'll just put it on his toes. And it's an added extra dimension. It does have a little bit of a shine, which is fine. But if I did the purple one on this red, that'll be easier to see. Now, I apply my eyeshadows wet to my face. I do not apply them wet to clay because water doesn't agree. So this is a pink color you see, so I'm just tapping it. And that would be the highlight. That's all you need in whatever color you would do. So it's just that simple. Now, this is contaminated clay, and it's with a contaminated clay pile, which is fine. Purple would look really good on that too because it's red. But it's just a highlight that you can add onto it. And as long as the clay has not been cooked yet, you are more than welcome to use those, and they will stick. Now, after you bake your clay, you need to seal it in some way, just because clay is a porous substance. So please seal your clay. You can use the Sculpey glaze. You can use polyacrylic. You can use spray. Excuse me. Don't spray the feathers. Okay, don't spray the feathers.
Yeah.
Don't spray the feathers. Don't spray fur on gnomes. But you can spray the rest of it with your acrylic and spray gloss sealers and so forth if you don't want to. Oops, that one's apples falling off. Need some glue. So that's what they look like.
Yeah.
So if you need an accent, you can do that, and that works with any color. Afterwards, the pigment will not stick at all.
Yep.
So at that point, you're painting it, and polymer clay takes paint really, really well. And so I hope you had a good time. This is our little guy. If you got, oops, sorry, it goes this way. If you got a little name for him, let me know, because I'm always looking for names, because I tend to name my characters, because
they're more relatable.
they're relatable and they're cuter that way. You know, if I say, here's a chicken, okay, here's Bob the chicken, you're interested.
I call him Buster.
Or whatever you want to call your chicken. Anyway, so, got any name ideas? Send me some name ideas. I have 3 of them done so far, and I will be doing some other ones. Maybe some without feathers incorporated in. Just depends. We'll see how it goes. I'll be doing vegetables next, so look for vegetables tomorrow if you want to make polymer clay vegetables. They're going to go in here. Maybe. I might have to make a shorter one. Anyway, I hope you had a great time. Again, please check out everybody at Divas Get Crafty. There's easy 50 people in the group, easy. We only had 8 to 10 of us today because that's all we can fit in the schedule. So please check us out. Please follow their pages. These are some really talented people, and they will show you how to make a lot of things. Okay? So I hope you all had a good time. Here he is. Now these 2 will be going in the oven once I get the tail fixed again for feathers on that little guy.
I have to make cookies first.
If you're going to use your oven for cooking afterwards, before you make your cookies, allow the oven to be open so any floating fumes that may be there wander off, because you don't want them in your food.
Yeah,
So we usually, when we go back to when we're using the kitchen oven for bigger pieces like this and not my polymer clay oven, just make sure that you turn it on, give it 10 minutes without anything in it with the door open so that it burns off whatever may be floating around in there. And then your oven's fine. You can use it for cooking. But again, don't mix your tools. If it's clay, it's clay. If it's food, it's food. Never the two shall mix. Okay? Hope you have a great night. I hope you had a pleasant time, and I hope you make one of these. If you have any questions, please email me. HendrickStudios@yahoo.com. You should check out my Shopify store at hendrickstudios.shopify.com. And, of course, here on Facebook. I'm always around. So, leave me a message if you have any questions, and I hope you had a great time and a good night. Stay safe and stay happy. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.